So today I was trying to think of a video idea and it went about something like this. Fuck. So in my frustration, I decided to sit and watch a Nemsk video. If you guys never watched Nemsk, you should. If you're a Modern Warfare fan and you're not watching Nemsk's videos, then there's something wrong with you. Nemsk makes really good Call of Duty Modern Warfare content. If you're tired of YouTubers like me that fill 10 minutes with constant talking and babbling and opinions, watch Nemsk. He does just great videos on myth-busting, different things in Modern Warfare, and the details of Modern Warfare. If you're just a fan of this game, you should subscribe to him, and if you do, tell him I sent you. Because he won't waste your time. I know I'm not wasting your time by sending you over there, but before you go there, I decided to review his SCAR setup that he showed off in a video. And this is an interesting setup. It's got granulated grip tape, I believe, or rubberized grip tape. Rubberized grip tape is the one it actually uses. The stock that allows you to aim down sight faster, a commando foregrip, a 30-round mag, and a red dot sight. Now, of course, you could change one or two of these things if you wanted to. I think he even says in his video that you could swap out rubberized for stippled grip, and that would be fine. But because, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of the SCAR, I decided to take this into a game and get a feel for it. And I had a pretty decent amount of kills in this match. I had some other matches that didn't go very well, but I did get to use the class, and I got to see some of its shortcomings. But I wasn't warmed up yet, so I didn't really use that footage. But with this piece of gameplay, I think it kind of illustrates my point while I'm talking about this just for a bit. I don't want to waste too much of your time. I don't want to go on too long because this is just a basic, here's the SCAR with these attachments. Go for it if you want. Talking about Nemsk's, the Nemsk setup. I'm just going to call it the Nemsk setup. Talking about the Nemsk setup, that's hard to say. Anyway, talking about his SCAR setup, the general point I want to make is that it works. It is a good setup, and I recommend it to you. Rubberized grip, commando foregrip, the aim down sight stock, whatever the fuck it's called, the 30-round magazine, and a red dot sight, it is well worth your time. But as I was using it, I realized that I still do not like the SCAR. I don't like that I can't specialize it for a particular role. Now, maybe you guys can in the comments section, but I've never gotten the thing to be a good close-range weapon without sacrificing everything else about it and it still not being very good at it. I can't get it to be a good long-range weapon without sacrificing everything else it can do and then not being a very great long-range weapon. I can't make a good stealth build, I can't make a good ground war build, or a good OBJ build for like hardpoint headquarters domination. I don't know, I don't have enough ammo. I never feel like I have enough ammo or versatility to play objective game modes well with the SCAR. But the SCAR setup that Nemsk has here is quality. And the reason it's quality, it's that whether he realized it or not, Nemsk came up with a setup that plays the SCAR exactly to its strengths, which is good old-fashioned mid-range people shooting. And it just works for that, it just really does. What encouraged me to make a video on it is that just from the outside perspective that I had, it looked like a good salt-of-the-earth assault rifle. You have an attachment to help you aim down sight faster. You have an attachment to get a clear sight picture. You have an attachment for recoil control. You have an attachment for more ammo, and you have an attachment for recoil stabilization and stability. You do have a lot of pros going on here. Because the SCAR is not amazing up close and it's not amazing at a distance, you don't need high-end optics. You do not need long barrels. I actually kind of redact some of the class ideas that I've given to the SCAR after using this. This is how the SCAR is supposed to be used. And if you're going to use the SCAR, you have to be okay with the fact that it's not amazing at everything. Now, the SCAR can two-shot headshot, and that will come in handy when you're using it, but you might be wondering, if it can two-shot headshot, why do you still say it's bad at long range? Because it's two-shot headshot at any range. Because its rate of fire, coupled with its recoil, coupled with its low default mag size, and even its high-end mag not really having that much ammo, it makes it hard to engage multiple people at longer ranges. At least for me, I can tap people with the SCAR, but if it came down to 3 people at the end of like a 100-meter line of sight, I don't know, I feel pretty underclassed in those engagements with the SCAR. Again, maybe you guys are just better than me with it. If you are, go ahead and let me know down below. I'm sure Nemsk might comment saying that he's much better with the SCAR than I am. But if you play the SCAR to its mid-range strengths, if you just treat it as a honest and as God intended assault rifle, then it'll work for you. Unfortunately, with this weapon setup, I wouldn't encourage you to hop on hard points and headquarters and defend them. You don't have the ammo, you don't have the reload time, you don't have the rate of fire, you don't have the hip fire spread, you're not versatile enough to take on multiple people. In fact, I would much rather use an M13 versus a SCAR, and that might make a lot of you cringe, but with the M13, I can have 60 rounds. So you better hope to God you are way more accurate than me. I believe a good M13 setup and an accurate player is better than a good SCAR setup and an accurate player. Go ahead and debate that down below. But what I appreciate about this setup is that it doesn't force the SCAR into doing something it can't do. It doesn't make the SCAR some sort of Frankenstein that is very fussy to use. It is built here for what it does well. The SCAR is pretty damn good at mid-range combat. Just control your engagements and don't tackle objectives that are crawling with enemies. A smarter player than I would be very deadly with this setup, so let's pretend that this is an episode of I Need a Weapon and I'm reviewing your class setup here. It's not a full class, but you know, your weapon setup, your SCAR setup. You know what? I would give this a 10 out of 10. This just works. I went in pretty excited, and then after I had a couple games with it and warmed up, it did exactly what it was doing in Nemsk's gameplay that he showed in his video. It's really hard to say Nemsk's for me. Anyway, I recommend this setup, even though I don't normally recommend the SCAR. Do with that what you will, and go ahead and subscribe to Nemsk and tell him I sent you. I'll see you when I see you guys, and I'm sorry if I kept just reiterating things in this video. I didn't know what to say. I'm not padding this till 10 minutes, but I do like to make my point clear. I don't know, it's a YouTuber's curse, and not one that Nemsk shares, so subscribe to him and he won't waste your time. See you when I see you. Goodbye.